And welcome back to the Paul Holden Details channel, and welcome to the Mercedes-Benz. Yes, this is the 1997 Mercedes-Benz. A little bit of a story with this car. Elderly owner, he's not doing too great health-wise. The car was parked up for around about 3 years on his drive, and that's where it's sat. And of course the sun has taken its toll on the paint and it's heavily oxidized. It's going to be my job to try and restore some clarity in the paint, get that lovely glossy paint back to how it was many moons ago. So quite a long process this. I've broke this down to a number of videos. Sit back, big bowl of popcorn, nice big glass of your favourite tipple, and enjoy this video. So here we go then. This is the 1997 Mercedes. Pink lady rather than lady in red at the moment. What a mess. Yeah. Spiders have took hold and they've festooned the car with their droppings. Yeah, spider poo. That's what it appears to be. And moss and all sorts, dead flies, you name it, it's stuck on this car. Poor thing's been sat outside in the blazing sun. That looks like the remainder of the residue from super resin polish. The old white chalky substance smeared everywhere. Yes, it's not good. In fact, it's blimmin' awful. And you're probably going to say in the comment section, I've seen worse. If you have, let me know. A monumental task lays ahead of me. There she is in all her glory of sorts. So the wheels have been refurbed on this, believe it or not. It's a shame the rest of the car's been let go. We'll see what we can do with that. That is a rather large bonnet. Interior wise, time warp. Fantastic interior. Lovely place to be. Late 90s switchgear and clean. Shame about the outside. Yeah. Panoramic roof. See what we can do with that later on. So that is it. That's the one we're going to be aiming at. That horrible pink paint. We're going to get rid of that. But first of all, it's all the stuff first. The rinse down stage, the decontamination. Right, we're going to start with the rinse down of the arches and the wheels and tyres. This is a new lance. It's a stainless steel lance with the attachment 40 degrees from Carscope UK. I will put a link in where you can get these from. They're not cheap, but they are very well made and being stainless steel, they will last you a lifetime. So, in with Purge, detailed online, and Pulse. Purge is the tyre cleaner, tyre and rubber cleaner. Pulse is the wheel cleaner. Now, some of this video is sped up because obviously you want to get to the stage where you see the paint being removed. But we have to show you this. This is all the first stages. There's no point in skipping over this. There's no point in polishing a car then doing the wheels after. You'll just put splats and chemicals all back over the car again. Yes. So you're going to require a couple of hits for this. You need that foam to go white. So yes, already the tyre looks good. That requires a second hit. Once that foam turns white, you've done the job. It's ready to use. It's got a decent trigger spray on the bottle, which is my pet hate when I don't have a decent one. And that is an SGC BUK tyre scrubbing brush. Just the right amount of firm bristles to do the job. Now it's a shame we can't move the car. The car has an immobiliser problem at the moment. We've put a new battery on it and we still can't work out what's wrong with the car. So it's just going to stay put. So I can't roll the car forward and I can't roll it back. Never mind. Yes, that looks like something that the Incredible Hulk has sneezed out of his snozzle. It's almost like a luminous. So this is a reactive wheel cleaner. So it's got fallout in it. So as well as cleaning the wheel, it's going to bleed out the contaminants. Now I have sped this up because nobody wants to see me cleaning a wheel for half an hour. So I do apologise for the incredible editing. As you can see, it is reacting, and it's reacting quite quickly. Hence the colour change in the chemical. That's all the iron fallout being dissolved. Easy brushes this week, along with a detail brush. So chemical resistant wax and away brush. Still using this brush, very handy. Don't buy cheap brushes. You might think some of these brushes are expensive. There is a reason for that. They last. When you're doing this type of work, there is no point in buying the cheap brushes from a very well-known marketplace. They do not last. Yeah, there you go. Certainly reacting. So another rinse down. And then it's on to the remaining 3. So APC next, all-purpose cleaner in the Laser Industries pump sprayer. This is one of those tasks where you just need to do it. You can attack this car with a pressure washer, but there is so much embedded grime. Normally I would have rinsed this down first, but I thought, oh, do you know what, I'm going to give the chemicals a chance to start eating away at this grubbiness, because there is a thick layer of grime on this car. Told you it was pink, didn't I? Pinky red. So we're going to cover the whole car using the pump sprayer. Around about an 8-to-1 mix of all-purpose cleaner. This will start to break down the nasties. One of the worst affected areas on this car, apart from the paint, are the window rubbers. They've got this built-in trim, and then behind that is where all the junk has been collecting. And also in the door jambs. Yeah, thick green gunge. So it's in with a detailing brush. That happens to be the Detailer's Passion one. It's like a toothbrush. I don't know if it's got any in stock, but you can have a look on the website. I'll put a link underneath the video as ever. A slightly harsher brush to get rid of this, and then a hog's hair brush for the actual door jamb. Now believe it or not, the door jambs are in pretty good nick. Really? Yes, because the doors have been shut. The sun's not been allowed to oxidise the paint. It's the shiniest part of the car so far. Yes, and just because the car is wet doesn't mean to say it's shiny. Oh no. Nice little touch that with the Mercedes logo. So we've switched over to the 15-degree nozzle. This is what the narrow one's for doing areas like this, door jambs. Yes, and put a towel over the seats. The owner won't thank you for watermarks everywhere. Garage Therapy's Zero Decon shampoo now. Around 120, yes, 120 mil, way over the top in my Lance. Topped it up with cold water, not warm, no need. And as you can see, it lays down a thick amount of foam. Now, this isn't a snow foam. It's actually a shampoo, a decontamination shampoo. If you haven't seen the video, put a link up there. We're not actually stripping wax off, really. Oh no, it's just the nasties left on the panel. So we're going to give this around about 10 minutes of dwell time. So at this stage of the game, didn't really see the sun, which is absolute godsend. So with the remainder, I'm going to shoot the rest in the bucket. So we've already done a pre-rinse of sorts with the APC, so we can just move straight on to the actual wash stage. So I've got 2 mitts. I've got a Detailer's Passion mitt, I believe that is, and a clean and shiny Incredible mitt. Yeah, that's kind of what it should look like. Glossy, sort of. So yet another rinse down. Turning the pressure washer in the right direction so you can shoot all the muck out of the actual boot jam. Boot jam is not jam that you find in between your toes, or foot jam, which is just disgusting. Next, zero oxide or iron oxide. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, fallout remover using a mitt. Don't worry, it has shampoo in it. You can use it like a shampoo. Smear it all over the car. Now, there wasn't actually any real fallout on the car. Believe it or not, no iron fallout was bled from this paint. But it's just a necessary step because we don't want to, although we're polishing the car, we don't want to pick up any nasties in the pad when we're polishing it. So this is just another decontamination stage. On a white car, you can see it straight away. On this, you couldn't see it. Some more rinsey poos. Clay bar next, courtesy of AM Details. Wet the panel as much as you like. Do not worry about the speed I am moving. I've already felt the paint earlier. There's not that much in the way of bonded contaminants on this vehicle, believe it or not, after the amount of pre-rinsing I've been doing. But nevertheless, you've got to do it. It's part of the stages before you start polishing. So once this was done and the car was dried, it started getting warm and it was time for the Christmas stage. You can tell you there's a wrapping in my house. Boom, boom. 3M masking tape. Mask up any areas you need to around door rubbers, any bits you think your pads are going to hit. G3 DA compound, cutting compound, courtesy from the G3 guys with their pad. Now I use a number of pads on this car from G3 and from the SGCB UK guys as well. Thanks to those guys. Yes, and I've sped certain bits up. Otherwise we'll be here till next week watching me cut the first panel. This is kind of like a heart in the mouth moment, not really knowing what was going to happen, where I was going to be able to get any results just from the first stage. Now we're going to do two stages. You're going to see the second stage in the second video, which is the refining stage. So this is the first stage. Excuse my camera drifting in and out. So an alcohol wipe down for the first section of the panel. And what are we left with? Well, let's have a look. The 50-50. That's the problem. It is single stage paint. Paint transfer to the pad. That's more of a 50-50 pull. There you go. So after every section of polishing, I was having to blast the pads out with my pressure washer. Now I know it's not the ideal thing to do. I don't have a pad washer and I don't have an air compressor. It's the only way to get these pads clean. Now luckily I was sent enough pads to alternate the pads. So blast them out with the quick release. Wearing gloves, mind you, because it stings otherwise. Not ideal. I know it's not the correct way to do it, but it got results. It got the pads clean again because they were getting clogged, and they were getting clogged quickly with dead paint. That's what you're removing. You're removing lots of dead paint. And all what happens is if you don't clean them out, you just end up putting that back in the panel. It just ends up one big pink mess, or red mess in this case. Now the owner hadn't seen the car up till this stage. He stayed indoors because he wasn't sure what was going to happen when he came out. All I can say is he was rather chuffed. Now moving in sections, just small sections around the car. Still with a cutting stage. Yes, I've edited this because nobody wants to see me holding a polisher for too long. So a number of different pads used on this car. These are the first ones, the microfiber ones. So I had microfiber ones from G3 and from SGCB UK, both very capable pads, but all going to suffer the same thing when they get clogged up. And the foam pads did exactly the same thing. You're not going to experience this if you do a modern car. Now all the fiddly bits, do not worry about the fiddly bits. We've got a different polisher for that. More on that in a bit. So she's starting to take shape. Now you might look at me and think, why am I not wearing gloves? In some of the video I wear gloves, in some of it I don't. I would advise you wear gloves, just a little bit of cushioning from the vibrations from the machine. Long-term use you can end up with HABs. If you want to hear a bit about health and detailing, check out the Speed 6 podcast. We talk about this. I'll put a link to their podcast down below. I should be wearing a mask. Didn't wear a mask. Where were they? In my garage. What an idiot. But took my ear defenders. They're either ear defenders or a very, very naff personal stereo. So switch machines to the spot pad machine now. I know these are out of stock because Jamie told me Details Passions has no more of these machines left. It's a shame because they're a nice capable machine. And switched over to the heavy cut SGCB UK pad, the green pad. Wasn't green for long, I can assure you. So what about the smaller parts? What about the more detailed, intricate areas? Well, thankfully from the SGCB UK guys and KDN Detailing, they sent down this, the cordless polisher. It's kind of like a hybrid, isn't it? Yes, hybrid from Rupes, or Rupes, get your terminology right. Comes complete with all the pads, all the accessories. It's even got the little bars, the bar attachments. You put the old extender bars on. This is a microfiber cutting pad. Requires a bit more control this than the foam pads. But this works wonders in the creased areas. You can get right in there. The one thing I love about this machine, and don't worry, I will do a full review on this machine, is the trigger mechanism. When you turn it on, it's automatically on speed 1. It resets itself. So if you end on 4 or 3, it just goes back to 1. Or 0. It will start nice and soft and then you gradually increase the speed. There's 2 buttons, a plus and a minus on the actual hand assembly. And it just seems to last forever. And that is where we're going to leave part 1. If you want to know more about what happens with the rest of this car, you're going to have to wait a little while for part 2. Meanwhile, please subscribe, like, share and all that great stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.